Hi, everybody. Tammy here, and I'm so excited to talk about this today. I'm going to talk about Google Slides today, and I'm going to talk about layouts, and I'm going to talk about Master Slide. And you may not have a clue of what I'm talking about. And I'm so excited about that because this could be a game changer for your classroom. Let's get started. Okay, so I am here in a brand new Google Slides presentation, and the first thing I'm going to point out is the layout here. You may not have ever clicked on this before. When you open up a new slide, you may have seen the different choices, but it's always here, right here, when you start up a new Google Slides presentation. So when you click on that, these are all the template layouts that are already provided for you. But I want you to know you're not stuck with these. You can change them, you can tweak them, you can add to them. It's awesome. But they are meant to make your life a little easier. So sometimes when you come up, when you've got this slide here and the default is this title slide. So you have a title here and a subtitle here, but you don't want anything. Maybe you just want an image. And so normally you just kind of get rid of it, you just delete it. Oh, this is in the way. Just drives me crazy. Or let's say we want to go to a new slide and it's got this. Now, this is the default for the second slide is a title up here and then some body of text. So maybe you don't want that. So these are coming from these layouts here. So this is the title slide layout. This is the title and body layout that goes with the second slide. You're always able to choose. If you do create a new slide with the plus symbol over here, you can actually choose your layouts here. I like the blank because it's just a blank canvas and who knows what I'm going to do on that slide. So you are able to do that, but I want you to know you're not stuck with these. So let's look at tweaking these and how to do that. And let's talk about master slide. So these layouts can be found in the master slide. So way back when I was creating websites, we would have something called CSS, and these were cascading style sheets. And it basically was the style of your website. It was the fonts, it was the colors, it was everything stylistic in your website had to do with this. And this kind of reminds me, this master slide reminds me of that CSS. So you get to create the style of your Google Slides presentation. So you can find it a couple of ways. The first way is in slide and you go down to edit master. You can also go to view and view the master. So either way, it's going to bring you here. So here is your master slide and your layouts that are part of these defaults. And I can go to the layout and I can change anything here. So if I don't want this section header layout to have this right here, click to edit master title style. So a title there in the middle if I don't want that, or if I want that to be a certain font, that's where the beauty is. Then I can change it here. And so whenever I open up a new slide with that layout that I like, it's going to be in the font that I want and I can control it here. The thing to really know is that this master slide up here up at the top controls all the layouts. So if I want to change the font, and this is even after I have created an entire presentation and I want to change the font, I don't have to do it on every slide. I can do it on this one master slide. So maybe I chose, right now I'm in the simple light theme, and that's something else to talk about, which we will in just a second. But I'm in the simple light theme, and let's see, the font here is Arial. Maybe I want the title font on all of my slides to be something other than Arial. So I'm going to choose, let's choose Patrick Hand. And we'll talk about choosing fonts also in just a second. So here's my font style for the title. And notice that now on all the other places where there is a title, it's going to be in that font. And whenever I use any of the layouts in this presentation, then it's going to automatically do that font. And I can do it after the fact. So it doesn't have to be before you start, which is awesome. And then you'll also notice that it's got this text, this body text down here, and it's got different levels. Now, this isn't what shows up when you choose the layout, but it is the style of what would happen if you had those different levels that you were creating with the bullets. So I could change the fonts of every single level. I could change anything about this. So that's the master. And understand that when you click on that very top one, the master, then it is going to affect the entire presentation. It's going to affect all of the layouts. So if you want to change something about the entire presentation, every slide, then you will do it on this master slide. Okay, so let's talk about themes and tweaking the theme. So right now, this was the default of the simple light theme. And if I get out of themes, then you're able to, I'm going to get out of the master slide for just a second. You can choose your themes right here. So if I go to themes and say, I want to choose, maybe you have a favorite. It doesn't have to be one of these. These are just the defaults that come with Google Slides automatically. And I'll just go ahead and choose this one. It's nice and clean. This is the title slide because that's what the title slide, the first default layout's going to be. And I can see all those layouts right here. If I go to another theme, I can look at the layouts there and see how it looks. So you can choose the style of theme that you like. Now, if you don't like any of these, there are websites that provide free template downloads. Slides Mania, Slides Go, Slides Carnival is one of my favorites. You can choose a template from their library, and then you can download that into your drive, and then you can import a theme here, and it will take you to your drive and all the slides presentations you have in your drive, and you can choose the one that you want. So you can go to any of those websites and choose what you want and then tweak it from there. So I'm just going to choose one of these. Let's see what this looks like. All right, so we'll just choose this. Now notice that there are certain colors that go with each theme. You can change that too. So you're not locked in to the colors that they have chosen. This one kind of drives me crazy, just a personal preference. I kind of like the style here, but I don't like the colors. So let's just choose this. And we have the layouts here. Um, not really into that dull gold color, so I can change that. So I'm going to go into the master slide again. So again, I can go from slide to edit master, and I'm going to look at the colors here of my theme colors here. So this is called shift. The theme is called shift. And these are all the colors that come with that theme. And this is that color I really didn't care for. So I can go in and change that. Okay, I'm going to stick with that one. This blue is just a little bit too much for me. So I'm going to go to that blue and I'm going to lighten it up just a little bit. Um, I would probably take a lot more time than this to choose my colors, but I just want you to know how you can change it if you want to. So, all right, enough of the colors. So that's all done. And again, here are the different slide layouts here. And remember, here's your top master slide. And if I change the title font here on this one, and notice it's highlighted all the slides that I have open on already in my presentation. And if I just click on a certain slide, then it's going to show me the outline of the slide that goes with that layout. So, so that one goes with that one. And there's going to be one more that looks like a blank. There it is. There's the blank that goes with that third one. So you'll know which ones, if you want to just do certain layouts, then you'll know which slides over here that's going to affect. But again, if you want to affect the entire presentation, always do it in that master slide. I want to change that font. And I also want to change the color of the font. I don't like bright colors that are hard to read. So I'm going to go to, let's do that one. It's just a certain vibe on this one. And I'm going to change that color to a darker color. And that's going to change the rest of the presentation for that. It changed it from Arial to Metal Mania, and it also changed it from yellow to a dark gray, and that affected all of them. So I don't have to do any more changing as far as the titles, and I don't have to do every single slide that had a title. I'm doing it all in one master slide. And then let's talk about adding layouts. I usually like to start with a blank, but I don't want to work on the blank here. I want to keep that blank in case I need to do something else. So I'm going to duplicate it so I can right click and duplicate it. So now I have another one. And so as a math teacher, say I use graphs all the time, and I want a coordinate plane that I can put up there, and I don't have to add a coordinate plane and insert it every single time. And maybe you have different things on a slide presentation that you use constantly. And so that's kind of what I want to talk about here is creating layouts that you use often, and then make this presentation your layout template. And so then you just make a copy of this template every time, and then you can just drop in that specific layout. So first one I'm going to do is a graph, a coordinate plane. So I'm going to insert an image, and I'm going to just search the web for coordinate plane. And again, I'm math, so I'm going to be focusing on that. So I'm going to choose this one, and I'm going to drag it over. And I like it over here. And then I also want to put a table of values. So I like the XY tables so they can, the students can input those X's and Y's and then graph it as well. And then I might put the equation up at the top. That's the only thing I need to add after I have this layout completed. So I'm going to insert a table, and I'm going to make it, right now I'm just going to make it 5. I'm going to bring that over here a little bit. I'm going to make it a little bit longer. I'm going to move it over. And I want it to be a little bit thicker lines. So I'm going to go to up here into the border weight, and I'm going to make it a little bit bolder. And then I'm also going to change the color to black because no, I don't want the inside to be black. I want the outside to be black. So let's do that. All right, so then I can insert the X and the Y here. I also want to make all the cells here center justified. So I can go ahead and do that, take care of that. And then I'm going to put the X and the Y here, and I'm going to bring that up just a tad. All right, so you can make that however you want here, and then you're going to want the students to enter their information here. And so this is completely up to you. At this point, you can just leave it like this and let the students insert text boxes, or you can insert your own text box. And you instead, you don't insert a text box here, you insert a placeholder. So whenever you go to, I'm going to get out of this for just a second. These right here are called placeholders. So it's not something that the text itself, it's just going to be a place where text can be entered. So that's what we want to do with the master slide. So I'm going to edit the master. I'm going to go back down to this one that I'm working on here, and I'm going to insert a placeholder, and it's down here at the bottom, and it can be just a body text placeholder. And I'm going to put it right here in this box. And you're going to see those levels here. Don't worry about that. It's not going to look that way when the kids are doing it. So you can do this for all of these or not. That's up to you. So that one's done. I may want to put a title up here, so I'll just put a title placeholder there. And let's do it right there. Or maybe this is where I put the equation. So I can just leave that for the equation. And then the kids are going to fill in the XY table. And then they're also going to create the graph with those arrows. So this is something I would use all the time. So this is basically my template for the thing I would use all the time. So let's create another one. I'm going to go back to the blank. Oh, by the way, you can change the name. So I'm going to rename this one to linear functions. Okay. So that's the name of that slide layout. So let's make another one. I'm going to duplicate again. I'm not going to type over this. And let's do, so maybe I do word problems and I want them to do some kind of problem solving strategy. So UPS check. Now I looked for UPS check while I was in slides. I didn't like the option, so I went ahead and downloaded some that I liked. So I'm going to insert straight from the computer. So this one is going to be the one that gives them the instructions. I'm going to move it over just a bit. So I want to have instructions. So I'm going to rename this to UPS check um, instructions, just in case I needed to include that, just for their sake. And then I'm going to have another one that is called UPS check. And it's going to be a blank UPS check graphic that they can insert into. So I'm going to upload it. I think I have it right here. And I'm going to make that a little bit bigger. And maybe I find a better one. Maybe this isn't the best one, but I find whatever I want to. And then I'm going to insert some placeholders just so they have that ability to already done for them. I mean, I'm sure the students can do this, and we always want to let the students do as much as possible. But just know that you can do that with these cool little layout slides. Okay, so that's UPS. Let's do one with a number line. I'm going to duplicate that blank again, and I'm going to make it a number line. And I'm going to insert that one from one that I've already downloaded, because I don't want to have to insert a number line every single time. If I'm going to use this a lot, then I'm going to create a layout template for it and then be able to use that in the future. So remember, all of this is being done in master slide. Okay, I wanted to insert here one more kind of layout that I've seen recently that I had a little skill in there that I wanted to show you. So I'm going to go back to the blank here. I'm going to duplicate that. And I'm going to call this a Venn diagram. There is a little trick with the circles that you would need to know to create these, and a little helpful on, and it gives you a little bit of insight on how to maneuver and tweak these characters. So I'm going to insert a shape, and I'm going to make this a circle. And I'm going to put it right here, make it nice. And then I'm going to duplicate that circle. Now, I'm going to wait till it gives me those guides to kind of show me that we're about even. Now, you can't really call this a Venn diagram because we've got to have that part in the center. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change the colors of these, and then I'm going to change the transparency. So this first one, I'm going to change the fill color to a nice little peachy color. And this one I'm going to change to a nice little green color. And then we're going to change the transparency. So you click on that shape, you go back to the fill color and go down to custom, and then you have that transparency option. So I'm going to move that over to about halfway. And then you can't really tell it until I do this other one. So this green one, I'm going to go down to custom and change that transparency to about there. Now I can see it. That looks really cool. Now I also want a title, so I'm going to grab both of those at the same time with the shift key. I'm going to move it over and move it down a little bit. And then I'm going to insert that placeholder at the top for the title, and it's going to use that title font that I give it, and then we're good to go. So my Venn diagrams are all done with this one as well. So I hope that helps. So I've got all of these different layouts now. So once I get out of that now, I can go to a slide and I can go to any of my layouts now and see which ones, these are the ones I just created. So here's this one's already done. And remember, I didn't put a box that they could enter those values here. I can change the fonts on those or the sizes ahead of time, or I would just let the kids insert text boxes and let them figure that out. Um, and then I'm gonna add another slide, and let's try the UPS check. So they're going to click in those and they're going to understand. So I can maybe put this on the side. Now notice they can't move this around. They can't move this graphic around. All they can do is put that text in there. And I want to think, I've got to put the problem over here. So I'm going to go back to master slide. I'm going to go to that one and realize that I need to take this graphic and I need to move this over. And actually, I'm going to select all of these. So I'm going to hold down my shift key and select all of this. And then I'm going to move them over at the same time. That makes it much better. That way I can insert different problems over here on the side. And notice that when I did that, it did that with the slide that is using that one. So it's already moved over and I can put the problem here, and they're going to use this problem solving strategy to solve it. If you don't like the fonts that you are given, so if I I'm going to go back to the master slide, and I don't like the one that I have up here. It's a little gothic for me. So I'm going to, you know what? I don't even like any of these. You can go to more fonts. Please don't skip that. You can choose from any of these. And when you click on it, you find one that you like, you can click on it, and now it's going to be a part of your font library. Click OK. And now it's changed to that Martel, and it's changed since I am on the master slide. It's going to change all of the titles to that font, and just really easy to maneuver and navigate all of the styles in your slides presentation. Okay, so once you have a lot of the layouts that you use very often, and you don't want to have to recreate every time you make a presentation, then I'm going to call this presentation my slides layouts. And I'm going to call it a template. It's my template. And then that way I can go to this every time I make a presentation and just hit File, make a copy, the entire presentation, and then make my title of the presentation that I want to create. And it's going to have all of those layouts that I can just pop, pop, pop in there and save you a lot of time. All right. I know that's a lot of information, but hopefully it will open up a little creativity for your Google Slides presentations, and even better for your students' Google Slides presentations. Please let them know that they are able to play with those layouts themselves and be a little bit more stylistic with their Google Slides presentations. You don't have to suffer with what you're given over here. You can change it. You can change the colors. You can tweak the fonts. You can tweak whatever you want to on that. It's all in the master slide. I hope this helps. Let me know if you have any questions, and have a great day.